everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where you boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlock.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, we've got some pretty bad news regarding Alek Manoah. Some reports that were coming out that we are finding out some secrets about why Alek Manoah could be performing as bad as he has, and also taking a look at his recent complex league start, which did not go over well. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So by this point, y'all have already seen the Alek Manoah, complex league start. Let's take a look at it right now, Nikki.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. And I'll tell you right now, folks, this is the first time I think, today, as we're filming this, I just had the realization, this is the first time I think that for real, I am starting to get decently concerned about not just this season, but just the future in general.
Well, you mean that a guy who was a former Cy Young candidate can't get beat up by a couple 19-year-olds?
By a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds.
He could do that for sure. What do you mean? That's totally normal.
Giving up 11 earned runs against legitimate 18 and 19-year-olds, that is extremely questionable, folks. And that is exactly what happened in the Florida complex leagues, guys. 2.2 innings. It was just all bad. I mean, the ERA that he has right now, something like 37 plus, just freaking ridiculous, dude. And the crazy part is that you actually had, I think you had the John Schneider come out and claim that this was a good thing. This was a positive thing. That he's encouraged by what he saw. Do you believe any of that?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to play it right here because of copyright things, but yeah, John Schneider basically saying that, I don't believe it. I mean, you're trying to find the positives. You're the Toronto Blue Jays manager. You have to represent the organization. You can't come out and say what we did there for the last 3 weeks was actually really bad and we're back to square one, But basically what he's saying is that, there was fastball command. That's really positive. And some other things they're working on was really positive. But I heard the same story over again, folks, that the slider, it was not there. So basically what I took from this is that, okay, so he's throwing his fastball down the middle of the plate. Right. I mean, if you're throwing on the edges, you're going to get these 19, 18-year-olds out. But you're throwing it down the middle, and the slider, which has been the problem for him all year, has not been competitive. It's been pretty far off the plate. So if I'm an 18-year-old, I mean, it's pretty simple. Sit, fastball, and it's going to be right there, and I hit it. So I guess if you look at it from that point of view, of his fastball just being a strike, then sure, it was positive.
And I mean, just to play devil's advocate here, there could be stuff going on behind the scenes, right? There might have been a game plan for Alek Manoah walking in saying, hey, we're not going to worry at all about the pitching line whatsoever. We're just going to have you throw fastballs middle, right?
Absolutely.
Like, potentially that's what it is, or working on something else. So that could be a thing, and we just don't have the information. However, still, when you give up that many runs to players that you will never see in the major leagues, these are not guys that you're going to see going up against in the playoffs, right? You're going to be going up against Aaron Judges and Bryce Harper's and all those guys. These are guys that you literally are not supposed to be competitive.
And obviously on a surface level, that's embarrassing. That's why the Twitter blew up. That's why the internet blew up. That's why Blue Jays fans blew up, because it's against these lower level rookie ball players. But again, like we're saying, if you're just throwing fastballs down the middle, what do you think's going to happen?
No, it's not going to work out, man. And so regardless of what John Schneider said, when you see a line like that, when you see a line of 11 earned runs in 2.2 innings, is there any hope for you that Alek Manoah is coming back to the major leagues this year, based on what we're seeing right now so far?
No. I think there's, and we're going to get into a lot more details, but I don't think that we're going to see Alek Manoah back, even though that apparently Ross Atkins fully expects that Alek Manoah will be back, which is absolutely blasphemous. I mean, look, he is in the organization.
Sure.
He knows way more about the Toronto Blue Jays organization than I do.
He also makes the decisions.
And he makes all the decisions. So obviously, he could be back if Ross Atkins is saying it. But if you look at that line and you look at the player that Alek Manoah has become in this season, you got to give him some time off, because, look, he didn't come into this season fully prepared. Make that what you will. And you see, after a month of being in Florida Complex League, there's obviously still a lot of things to be done, right? Yeah, sure, you could throw your fastball down the middle. I think that's actually one positive, because if you look here, it was all over the place in 2023. No fastball command. But then the slider, it can't be over there in the heart of the plate. No. It has to be there more than not. It has to be commanded. So, do I think he's going to get to that point where he can command the fastball and the slider and maybe have an out pitch like a sinker and changeup by September? I don't think so. I bet more likely not.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, I just don't see how there's any reality where you can bring up a guy who's got a line like that and tell him to go and to pitch against the Baltimore Orioles or to pitch against the Tampa Bay Rays, right? And even if you told him, you said, don't worry about the line, he's still going to worry about the line because his fastball, regardless of where it is in the zone, is still getting annihilated by guys who are never going to see the major league. So just on a mental standpoint alone, unless he goes on a tear down there, has a month of scoreless baseball, I'm starting to believe that we might have to wait a while to see Alek Manoah come back.
I think there's going to be many, many steps to see Alek Manoah because this could be the first step. Hey, let's find control of that fastball. Yeah. Now let's put it up on the edges, put it in the hands, put it down and away. Let's try and locate it. Okay, the slider. Maybe we're really trying to miss. We're not trying to throw strikes with our slider. Yeah. Because as we saw in that graphic there, he was throwing it right down the middle. Mm-hmm. So that's what was getting beat up a lot. So let's really try and miss. Okay, now let's try and move it slowly back up. Maybe they're really like going down into the details. So if that's the case, is that going to happen in 2 months? Wow. I don't think so.
I don't think so either, man. And I just think that we're starting a little bit too far back to get to a place of competitive baseball when the Toronto Blue Jays are in a playoff hunt and when we're already halfway done the season. Another piece of very concerning news that kind of leads us to believe this as well.
Time for a quick shout out to Betway. Betway is the best place to make all of your sports bets on all of your favorite teams. Betway is also in collaboration with iGaming Ontario. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Is the reports that came out today talking about Alek Manoah's conditioning and talking about his weight. On the Overdrive podcast, they were referring to Alek Manoah, and they came out and they revealed that Manoah entered camp this year at 320 pounds, folks. That is a lot of weight to be walking in to camp with. And the Blue Jays management, the Blue Jays staff, they were not too happy about it.
Yeah, compared, to his last year, which was 290.
Yeah.
So you're 290, you come into 320, that's 30 extra pounds. And what this reminds me a lot of is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in 2020. Mm-hmm. This was the giant narrative, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. actually admitted himself he did not come into the season prepared. Granted, COVID year, they didn't know when baseball was coming back. They were kind of on the shelf. So, I think we all kind of were like, okay, understandably so. This is something that never happens in our lifetime.
Right.
You get a pass. Whereas Alek Manoah is coming off a Cy Young caliber season. Yeah. And again, I don't know what he did in the offseason, but clearly he added a lot of weight, and it's slowing down his pitches. He's lost a lot of velocity. He can't command his pitches like he used to. So obviously, if you gain a lot of weight, you're not going to have as much control because you just have this additional weight.
No, I mean, it is very clear to me that you clearly did not prepare enough for this season. That's what this boils down to, right? That's what it boils down to, is the fact that you came off of this big season, you were phenomenal, you were talking a big talk, and this the whole weight and the body issues and everything like that was something that you were passionate about.
Oh, 100%.
And that's what I don't understand, right? 100%. Is you're so passionate about this, and then it seems to me like you're not doing the necessary conditioning to keep yourself in a place where you can play competitive ball.
Look, and I've always been in the corner of any major league player or any professional, really. If you're a bigger guy and you put up the numbers, and we both said this last year, when Yankees fans are chirping Alek Manoah, they're chirping Vladdy for the weight stuff. Yep. It's look, but those guys are putting up numbers. Yep. So it's let that do the talking. And I was with Alek Manoah on that. But now that we're not putting up numbers, Alek Manoah's obviously silent. He's focused on himself right now because you can't really talk, and you gotta do what you said. Put in the proper conditioning, put in the proper work going into next season.
As far as I'm concerned, man, I don't care what you look like. I don't care. I actually have no interest in that. I care that you come in the best shape possible for your body. I don't know your body, you know your body. But I'll tell you right now, that is not the best shape for your body, because the best shape for your body was 30 pounds ago when you were in Cy Young form.
Exactly.
And it's actually kind of wild here, folks. We have a tweet here just kind of showcasing what Alek Manoah looked like in 2021 compared to now. And obviously, there's a camera angles going on here, right? I mean, what he's wearing, everything like that. But I think both of us, Adam and I, when we saw this, we were like, wow, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we didn't notice that much of a change over time. But when you see them back-to-back like this, it's like, yeah, he was a different guy in 2021 than he is right now.
A different guy. And again, like we're saying, not about a body thing and not about a looks thing. It's just straight up like, look, he clearly was more competitive in 2021 compared to 2023. So whatever you need to do, man, to get back there, I mean, take that time in the Florida Complex League, Alec, because yeah, we need you, bro, because we're at a point right now where the Blue Jays, you know, we have to go out and we have to make trades. We have to go out and rely on Hyun-Jin Ryu coming back. Yeah. Those are options that are becoming legitimate to replace you this year.
And frankly, guys, it is a very scary place to be right now for the Toronto Blue Jays. When you were a fringe wildcard team, you know, we are right on the precipice here of being in, being out. You know, we're not sure, and we are relying on a guy who has not played baseball in over a year to come in and be our fifth starter, not even be a bench guy, not even come into our bullpen, but legitimately be in the rotation and be pitching every 5 days. That's something that we're actually doing right now, guys. I don't know how the management is allowing this to happen. We need to go out and acquire more guys, just for insurance sakes, because I don't know how Ryu's going to perform.
I think Ross Atkins also is considering that reality, and so is his front office. I mean, you had Keegan Matheson come out here and saying exactly that on the trade deadline possibilities. The obvious area would be adding a starting pitcher. I mean, it's obvious. Like, regardless of even having a fifth guy of Ryu, like after him, we've talked about it for ages. There is no depth. We have bullpen days on the fifth day now. So the obvious area would be adding a starting pitcher, but we need to balance that with the progress of Alek Manoah and Hyun-Jin Ryu. And like Ross Atkins said earlier, he's still optimistic. He thinks that Alek Manoah could come back. Maybe as a sixth man. Like, that's the ceiling to give someone some off days. Maybe in September call-up times. But I think Hyun-Jin Ryu is a definite reality. And if Alek Manoah doesn't come back, I think adding another starting pitcher as insurance and as a sixth man could provide a lot of help for this Blue Jays rotation.
And as far as I'm concerned, guys, let's assume that Alek Manoah does come back. Are you going to feel confident with him? Where he's at right now? Like, I need to see something change dramatically.
Like I said, for me, it's just a straight up like, okay, give this guy an extra day rest, go in and pitch your best, but you're not going to make the postseason roster. That's my expectation at this point. Please prove me wrong, Alec. 100%. I would love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, guys. So very clearly, Alek Manoah having some troubles down there, has a lot of work to do to get back to where it is, and I think it's becoming an increasingly relevant reality right now that the Toronto Blue Jays, we need to go out and we need to bring in more pitching, because if he's not going to be ready to go, and if Ryu, even if he is ready to go, but like we don't know how he's going to perform, if we want to stay in this race, we need more.
I agree. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments about everything that we talked about Alek Manoah, about maybe gaining 30 pounds coming into this season, and about his recent FCL start. You let us know.
Guys, please hit the like, subscribe button. Also, $3 a month, become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of these current Patreon members. Also, our YouTube members too. All of you guys are freaking awesome.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!